without a fight, 'cause there will be a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be a time.
Hey guys, and welcome on in to another episode of Getting Well with Terry and Friends, free NHL picks. I'm Terry, ready to break down today's slate. And we are going to skip the recap of the weekend. Spoiler alert, it went bad. So it's basically all that needs to be said about the weekend. Sunday was great when I didn't do the show, but Friday, Saturday, not the best. We're not going to go deep dive into everything. We are going to jump right into the standings and take a look at what's going on after the weekend here in the NHL. The Florida Panthers, now the number one team in the NHL with 86 points. Boston, 2 points behind with 84. Toronto with 78. The Rangers, 84 points. Carolina, 78. Philadelphia with 71. In the wild card spots, Detroit and Tampa, both with 72, 6 points ahead of the Islanders. The Islanders, though, have 3 games in hand on Tampa Bay. So it's getting real for Tampa Bay. They've got to start to pick it up because teams are coming up behind them and they all have games in hand. Washington with 65, the Devils with 64, Pittsburgh with 62, Buffalo with 62, and then the bottom 3 of the Eastern Conference. Starting to get close here between Ottawa and Columbus, which is kind of interesting. In the West, Winnipeg tied for first with Dallas for first in the Central. Colorado, 4 points behind now in third place. Vancouver, 85 points. Edmonton, 76. The Vegas Golden Knights, 73. And then the wild card spots, LA and Nashville both with 72. 7 points ahead of Calgary and St. Louis, both with 65. Minnesota with 64. Seattle with 63. Arizona kind of by themselves. And then the bottom 3 in the West. And Anaheim's actually moving themselves, separating away from San Jose and Chicago, which is kind of interesting. Another thing that's really interesting, and I get it, he's been hurt for a lot of the year. But when we were looking at the futures, when we did the future shows before the season started, I did mention that Chicago, I liked Chicago to finish last in the NHL, even with Bedard. And it's close right now, but Chicago currently in last place. San Jose. I did say in the San Jose show that I didn't think they were going to be as bad as everyone thought. So that was not quite true, but hey, they're not in dead last, so that's good for them, I guess, unless they want the first overall pick. But as we know, the team with the lowest record doesn't always get the first overall pick. Jump into the chat. Hi, Terry and friends. Hello, Addison. Hi, Addison. Terry, ... Yes. Terry, tell Florida not to win the President's Trophy. We have futures to protect. Yeah, sadly, I have no influence on the Panthers, so there we go. But obviously, I do hope that, not that they have a losing skid, but I hope that there's a couple of games here where maybe they lose in regulation, and that's all good. There's a hat trick like every day now. Yes, a lot of hat tricks lately, which is really good for betting if you can predict who gets one. Boldy looked as if he nutted prior to the game. He couldn't focus or make reliable plays. Fortunately, Kirill the Thrill is a seasoned professional. I don't want to say that Boldy's thrown in the towel, but the Wild are not making the playoffs. They are not. If they go on this little bit of a hot run, then they do. It's just going to worsen their draft pick. But the Wild are not making the playoffs, and I think the players know it now. I really think the players know it. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily to not try as hard, but Yeah, I don't like what I've seen from the Wild. You had that game against Nashville. You got destroyed. You lost to St. Louis, which you had to respond. You didn't. And then you barely beat San Jose. This team is done. This team is done. A good day, Terry, to you as well, Captain Bry. Panthers over 5.5. We will talk about that game, but there's obviously a reason Owen is on that, and we'll talk about that. I'm sure everyone will respond reasonably when Chicago gets the first overall pick again. I just threw up in my mouth. Why are there no trades? Because a lot of the sellers are asking for too much. And as we saw in the Dallas Calgary trade, teams aren't going to necessarily give up as much as teams are asking for. So we'll see when more trades start to come. But with the salary cap too, it's difficult. A lot of the teams are in cap crunch right now. Great day Sunday, not so much exactly. Exactly. I didn't do the show and had a pretty good day, but Friday, Saturday were awful. So that's how it goes, I guess. Addison says, "Hey to Robert, young kids in this league on a losing streak are so fragile and easily to be faded, like New Jersey. Possibly. Is Florida going to show up today in New York? Yes, but we'll discuss that game here in a bit. We will start with the first game of the night. And the reason why I say yes is because I don't think I've seen a game where Florida hasn't shown up. Um, maybe all year. This like obviously they have losses, but they've been a consistent team for most of the year. Starting with this game, St. Louis plus 120 to plus 125. Philadelphia minus 135 to minus 150. Sixes right across the board in this game. And I have seen, or we have seen, some movement in the lines here. Konechny's not playing. Okay, so that's not the reason for it. But we are seeing the lines move here towards Philadelphia. Samuel Urson confirmed for the Flyers. Bennington not confirmed, but he should be in net off a very good game against the Minnesota Wild in his last time out. St. Louis 2-4-1 in their last 7 games, 3 over, 3 under, 2 games finished with 6 goals. The Flyers 3-3 in their last 6, 3 overs, no unders, 1 game finished with 6 goals. The Flyers 4-2 in the last 6 meetings between the teams, 3 overs, 1 under, 3 games finished with 6 goals. So we usually do see goals when these two teams face each other. Philadelphia has found a way to finish out on top in recent games. And that's what I want to happen here. Flyers money line minus 130. This team, and I've said it a lot of the year, I've been waiting for this team to fall off, and they've had their losing streaks. But John Tortorella has this team playing. They are comfortably in that third spot in the Metro, but still playing hard. So I like Flyers money line minus 130 and Tyson Forster anytime goal plus 230. When it comes to player props, the only player that's producing right now for St. Louis, and that's a reason why I do like Philadelphia, is Robert Thomas. He's got an assist in 7 of his last 8 games. His line mates, Buchnevich, goes some games with a goal, some games he does nothing. Kyrou hasn't done anything for a couple games. And then when you look down the lineup below that, nobody's producing for St. Louis right now. For the Flyers, their main line is their top line right now. Scott Lofton has a point 8 of his last 10 games, and Tyson Forster here has a goal in 5 of his last 7. And he shoots the puck a lot and has been quietly one of the Flyers' nice young prospects. He's played very well for the Flyers. So I like Tyson Forster anytime goal here. The Flyers to finish out on top in the first game of the night. We'll jump into the chat. Chicago, New Jersey fade week. Pittsburgh fade this weekend. All right. No value on this game. Let's go Blues. Sorry, Nick. Your Blues to make the playoffs bet is just not going to happen. If the Flyers play their style of hockey, they will win. I agree. Cam York has a goal in 3 of his last 4 games for the Flyers. Goal scorer plus 700. There we go. So someone that I missed, but Timothy's on top of things. Um, Great value there. Plus 700. Fairly light card for me today. Yeah, for me it's props. I'm fairly light on props, but I like every single game except one today. St. Louis 5 straight goal in first 10 on the road. Philly 10-2 last 12 overall. Okay, so we might see a goal early on. No Konechny, so I like Forrester even more. Yes. And that's why I just checked too, is I wanted to make sure that Konechny isn't back before really recommending Forrester, because when Konechny does come back, that's going to switch up the lines. So I like Forrester on the top line with Konechny not in. Philly now minus 142. If Kevin Hayes and St. Louis beat Philly, I will call 1-800. St. Louis fighting for wild card, and Philly can't slip in the division, or else they'll miss the wild card playoffs. Torts for Jack Adams. Good lucks. I thought about Tyson Forster anytime goal, but I wanted better odds. All right. You can get him for a point, minus 115. I know that's obviously not better odds, but if you didn't want to go with the goal, minus 115 for a point is a great price as well. Oh, and that goal in first 10 is minus 135 DraftKings if you want to play it, Terry. All right. Normally I don't really get to it, those bets, but best of luck to you. Bitter save prop, Philly shot on goal machine. Very true. Got in late, boys. New week, new money. Let's get it. Yes, it's a new week, and we are going to look towards a much better week than how the week ended last week. Waiting for Hurricanes trade notification. Yeah, waiting for trade notifications in general. And Owen, for your sake, I hope the Hurricanes are a lot more active than they were last year. Um, that's just my thoughts. Buchnevich anytime goal plus 210. He could go that way, but like I said, he's not consistent enough for me. Obviously, he's plays with Robert Thomas, who assists a ton, so he does shoot it to Buchnevich a lot, but Buchnevich obviously doesn't always score. So good value there. Just I'm going to pass. St. Louis props. Terry and Addison, you talked me into this game. All right. All right. I know it's not your usual play, but it's close to your threshold, plus good data behind it. Yeah. Yeah, of course. I just have a lot of plays today, and I'm really trying to limit things. So adding something is just not what I want to do right now. But I wish you luck. I hope it wins for you. Terry, let's have a week. Yes, Nick, let's have a week. And not to jump a little head to the parlay of the day, but we're going to go back to the future, I guess you could say, when we look at the parlay of the day. So people will, that's a little early spoiler there. But we will move on to the second game, which is going to be the game of the night. We've got the Florida Panthers and the New York Rangers here. Florida minus 122. Let me do a refresh here. Okay. Florida minus 125 to minus 125. Rangers plus 105 to plus 117. 5.5s and 6s available in this game. When we look at goaltenders here, Sergei Bobrovsky should be facing Igor Shesterkin here in this one. Bobrovsky off a 21 save shutout has been absolutely fantastic. Has allowed 2 or fewer goals in 9 of his last 10 games. He's been excellent. Then you've got Igor Shesterkin, who's allowed 2 or fewer games in 5 of his last 8 games, going 7-0-1. Both goaltenders have been playing very well heading into this game. The Panthers 14-2 in their last 16 games, 5 of their last 6 under 5.5. The Rangers 11-1-1 in their last 13, 1 over, 3 unders, 2 games finished with 6 goals. Florida's gone to overtime in 3 of 6. The Rangers have gone to overtime in their last game. So both teams trending towards the under right now. Both goalies playing very well, but give me the over 5.5. If you have to take the over 6, that's fine as well. These teams go over. Both teams were trending heavy towards the under when they faced each other earlier this year, which was a 4-3 Panthers win. I took the over there, not paying attention to how the teams were currently playing. I'm doing the exact same thing here. Why? Because 16 of the last 17 games have gone over 6.5. The only game that did not go over 6.5 was a 4-2 win, a 4-2 game in 2018. So it went over 5.5 and was a push if you had a 6. The last game to go under 5.5 between these teams was 2016. Uh, whatever, whatever reason, these two teams face each other, we see goals. So uh, if it ends up losing, hey, the streak is going to end eventually. But I think the reason why we're getting this 5.5 is because of how both teams have played recently. I'll take the over. Also take the draw, as both teams are going to overtime recently. So I like that to continue here. And I'll take the Panthers money line to finish out on top. This team is just dominant. And even though, as I said, I don't want them to win the President's Trophy, I do want them to kind of drop a game here and there. But I don't think this is it. So playing this game 3 different ways: the draw, the Panthers to win, and a high scoring game over 5.5. If you have to take the over 6 at plus money, I don't hate that either. But I like goals here in this one. Rhino eyes. Yeah, maybe keep your eyes open. No, I'm kidding. We'll talk about that. Panthers money line and lean the under. Of course, you would lean the under. Yeah, obviously it looks like an under game, but no, not for me. I cashed on all 3 overs last year. I cashed on the over in the first game this year. I will continue to take the over between these teams. And as soon as I saw this matchup this morning on the slate, I'm like, yes, Panthers and Rangers. Panthers money line in a parlay. You could do that. -120 is a great price. You could play it by yourself as well. I want Reinhardt back in my life. All right. Over, over, over. Yes, I agree. Rangers need power plays to win. Florida to control 5-on-5. Florida, New York Rangers top penalty kills. That's true, and that makes it look like an under 2, but I don't know. Lean Rangers money line. Yeah, possible. It's possible. Smash like Terry. What have I missed? Flyers money line. Tyson Forrester anytime goal in the first game, and then this one here. A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. Should I take the over 5.5 at -122 or over the over 6 at +100? That's totally up to you. If you have access to the 5.5, um, I would probably go with that. I could see this game finishing with 6 goals. So I would go with the over 5.5 if you've got access to it. Uh, BetMGM is a pre-built prop. Florida money line, both teams to score +160, +180 the other way for Rangers. Interesting. I like that. Sup, Terry? Good luck this week. Looking to keep this little 5-day profit streak going. Best of luck. Best of luck. Sprinkle in the draw. Yeah, I like that. God Panthers money line -115 yesterday. Tough game though. It will be, yeah. And it'll be one of the best games to watch for sure. But does it matter that both goalies are standing on their heads right now? Obviously, that's a reason that some people may want to stay off the over. But what my reasoning is both of these teams were playing low scoring hockey when they faced each other earlier on in the year. Earlier on in the year, Panthers were giving up 1 goal a game. Like they were not giving up a lot when these teams faced each other last time, and it still found a way to go over. So yes, both goaltenders are standing on their heads. Both games are playing low, but I do think this is the one game where that changes and where it goes over. So I as I said, I cashed on the over 3 times last year. I cashed the first time this year. I won't get off this. This is one of my favorite history stats. Over 8 is +420. That's getting up there. I don't know if I would go that high. A lot of the games did finish with 7. when these teams faced each other. So the highest I would go is over 6.5 myself. Easily one of the best shell shows in the tube, Terry. Thank you. Much appreciated. I really appreciate that. Verhage assist plus 125, 4 straight games with one. I'll be talking about player props here in a second. Florida defense is so fun to watch. Shesterkin in top form again. Can't wait to watch this. Yes, it should be a great game. Rhino plus 140 anytime goal. Looking through my soul right now. All right. Neither of these teams need to win. That's true. That's true. You sold me on the over, Terry. Cha-ching. Well, I hope so. I hope so. But I have to take it. I have to continue to take it. Reinhardt shots and goal, 2.5. That's a low number. Fox anytime assist. All right. But we'll look at player props here for this one. And I don't have any single plays when it comes to player props here, but there's a lot of parlay pieces that you could look at. Sam Reinhart is heating up again. 0.6 of his last 8 games. Carter Verhage has an assist in 6 of his last 7. Alexander Barkov has a goal in 3 of his last 4 games. Matthew Tkachuk a point in 8 of his last 10. And Brandon Montour, of course, that day when I took him for a goal and assist, nothing. But then the next game, a goal and 2 assists. So not taking Montour singly, but he's got 2 or more points in 5 of his last 7 games. So I would look at Montour. I really would. I believe he's minus 115 to get a point tonight, which is just crazy. For the Rangers, yes, Adam Fox has been doing okay, but for me with the Rangers, it's that one line, which is listed as our second line. Vincent Trocheck, 0.6 of his last 7. Artemi Panarin, 0.7 of his last 8. Alexis Lafreniere has 0.3 of his last 5, so I don't like him as much for a point, but he's got at least 3 shots on goal in 13 of his last 14 games. Lafreniere to get 3 shots is a great parlay piece. Vincent Trocheck has at least 3 shots in 7 of his last 9 games for the Rangers. So no single plays, but a lot of different parlay pieces you could use in this game when it comes to player points. And yes, Panarin, Trocheck, Lafreniere. That one line is really producing for the Rangers. Fraggy assists in 3 straight, points in 4 straight. FYI. Yes, he's been great. He has been great. But we will move on along to our next game. And I said this is the game of the night, but we've got another one that's also really good. And some Boston fans and Toronto fans might disagree with me that Florida and Rangers are the game of the night. But we've got this one here, plus 110 to plus 114 for the Bruins on the road, minus 126 to minus 130 for the Leafs at home, 6s and 6.5s, depending on what you are looking at for the total in this one. Let me refresh. I just saw Justice Annan is starting for Colorado. Awesome. Not what I wanted to see, but we'll get to that game in a bit. Jeremy Swayman, Ilya Samsonov, nobody confirmed for this game. We will have to see exactly who starts here for both teams. How these teams been doing recently? Boston, 3-3-5 in their last 11 games. So they've lost 8 of their last 11. 2 overs, no unders, 1 game finished with 6 goals in their last 3. 7 of their last 10 games for Boston have gone to overtime. Toronto, 9-1 in their last 10, playing their best hockey this season by far. 7 overs, no unders, 2 games finished with 6 goals. Went to overtime in their last game. Boston has won the last 5 games between the teams. Both meetings this year went to overtime. The last 3 meetings between the teams went to overtime. 6 of the last 9 were high-scoring games. For me, Boston hasn't gone to overtime in 2 games in a row, but I got to ride it. I think they go back to overtime here. In this one, plus 340 for the draw here, and Maple Leafs money line, minus 128. I think they end their losing streak against Boston. This Leafs team is just playing so much better than Boston right now. And if anything, I'm worried about the draw that the Leafs might win this in regulation. So I'll take the Leafs money line. I'll take this half unit on the draw as well. But the Leafs have had trouble with the Boston Bruins in the past. but I think this is a game where they end that losing streak. Player props, nobody for Boston. It's shocking, but nobody is on a consistent streak right now. Pasternak, I believe, no points in back-to-back games. Coyle was kind of hot there, but didn't get anything in his last game. Just nobody that's on a big enough streak for me for the Boston Bruins right now. For the Leafs, no big surprise. It's three of their big guns. Nylander has a point in 13 of his last 14 games. Marner, a point in 12 of his last 13. He does assist a lot more, but last game he only had a goal. So if you're looking at a parlay piece, you could go with assist, but I'd look at point. I know it's not the best price, but Matthews has a point in 8 of his last 9 games. If you same game parlay Nylander, Marner, and Matthews all to get a point, that's minus 105 for them all to get a point. I would look at that potentially. They're all playing well. Nobody really playing all that well for Boston right now. So there we go. Toronto money line and over 6. I like it. Leafs money line, parlay piece. I like it as well. Unfortunately, not facing the Wild today, but Blues money line. Hello, Mr. Bennington. Hello. I hope the Blues finish right where they belong, and that's on the bubble spot. No good draft pick, no playoffs. Maple Leafs minus 130. I like it. I do. Which teams will take the day off today? Mondays are typically non-eventful, especially without any playoff implications. True. I don't really think any of these teams really should be taking nights off, except maybe one of the teams we're going to talk about shortly. Sprinkle on the draw. Yeah, I like it. Both Bruins are coming off a loss to an elite team. No. Nick, remember when you said that Kirill Kaprizov is not? That's a superstar. Sorry, my bad. I won't get into that again. But if you're calling the Isles an elite team, you need to get your check there. How about those Isles? Yeah, they finally won a game. Bertuzzi and Tavares continue to roll into this week. No, Bertuzzi's, I believe, 2 games in a row where he hasn't done anything. Maybe he gets back on things here, this one, but I'm staying off Bertuzzi now. Hell yeah. No. Hell no. Toronto, second period over 9 straight, 20-3 on the year. Wow. Third period over 14 straight. Yes, the Leafs have been getting it going there in the third. Both the Rangers, Florida, Boston Leafs games to go overtime. $10 pays 160 on Hard Rock. All right, best of luck. They are humans, not robots. Even Minnesota's run took a small break and regressed. Yeah, everyone's human. But we'll move on along to our next game, which is between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Columbus Blue Jackets. Vegas minus 175 to minus 180. Columbus plus 145 to plus 158. 6.5s right across the board in this game. Looking at goaltenders here, Aiden Hill likely for Vegas. Danil Tarasov confirmed for Columbus. Elvis Merzlikins is injured, so he will not be starting here, obviously, until he recovers. How these teams been doing recently? Vegas has lost 7 of their last 9 games, not playing well. 6 straight over 6.5s. Columbus 4-4 in their last 8. So playing 500 hockey, but playing better than the Vegas Golden Knights when you look at recent play. 2 overs, 2 unders, 2 games finished with 6 goals. Vegas has won 4 of the last 6 between these teams. 4 of the last 6 going under 5.5. And this is my one game where I don't have any single plays. When it comes to parlay pieces, Jonathan Marchessault and William Karlsson to get points. Marchessault a point 9 of his last 11, an assist in 5 straight. William Karlsson and a point in 6 of his last 7, and a goal in 5 of his last 7. For Columbus, Only player really consistent for Columbus recently is Jack Roslovic. 0.7 of his last 9 and at least 3 shots on goal in 5 straight games on the top line. He's the only player who's all that consistent right now for the Blue Jackets. Hard Rock bet, new in Florida. Okay, awesome. Vegas money line parlay. I won it. Blue Jackets money line plus 155. Love this spot for the Columbus. Little nervous for Tarasov, but poor spot for Vegas. Last game of a road trip. Yeah. Eichel first line center. Yes, he might be making his return here tonight in this game. Vegas 3+ team total. Marchessault, Carlson, Theodore, anytime point parlay. All right. This is a great spot to take Vegas, in my opinion. Still on the road and must stop the losing streak. So a little bit of disagreement there with Nick. All right. Tarasov 3 goals allowed prop. All right. Vegas puck line, says Robert. So he likes them to take care of business. If Eichel's back, I like Columbus even more. See, I disagree with that. Vegas, and you know why I disagree with that? Star player returning. Most people want to fade the teams because the teams will take it easy because their star players returning. Well, I can promise you that Vegas is not going to take it easy because all they've done is lose recently. So getting Eichel back, the team is the last year's Stanley Cup champions are not going to take the night off because Eichel's back. I can say that, but I'm still not betting Vegas or Columbus in this game. Theodore assist plus 105. You could look that way. I believe he slowed down the last game or two, so I stayed off him. Blue Jackets plus 1.5 all day. I could see a close game. I could. Tommy agrees with Addison that that's the play in this game. All right, best of luck, guys. We'll move on to the second last game of the night. Is this the game of the night? No, of course not. Chicago Blackhawks, Colorado Avalanche. The Blackhawks plus 340 to plus 384. Colorado minus 450 to minus 500. Sixes right across the board in this game. How have these teams been playing recently? Chicago has lost 14 of their last 15 games. They just continue to lose. 4 of their last 5 games under 5.5. Colorado 2-2-1 in their last 5. 1 over, 3 unders, 2 games finished with 6 goals. Colorado's won 8 of the last 10 games between the teams, covering the puck line, and 6 of the last 8 wins. The last 5, all under 5.5. All 3 meetings this year, under 5.5. Give me the under 6. No, I'm not super excited that Justice Annunen is likely in this game, but he hasn't played awful. He hasn't played that awful. He had actually shut this Blackhawks team completely out. His first shutout of his career. 2-2-1 of the season, 2.8 goals against average, 913 save percentage. So Justice Annunen hasn't been horrible overall. His numbers are starting to improve. And for another reason why I do like the under here is the Blackhawks are a pretty good under team because they just don't have offense. They are just not able to score goals. This Avalanche team, not scoring a whole lot right now either. The only players consistent in this game, McKinnon has a point in 9 straight for the Avalanche. Rantanen has an assist in 8 of his last 9. So as long as McKinnon's not scoring 5-6 goals, Rantanen's not scoring a bunch of goals, I don't see where the goals in this game comes from. So Blackhawks, when McKinnon's on the line, when McKinnon and Rantanen are on the ice, play your best defense. That's all I ask. And if they are able to do that, this game should stay under. Shouldn't be any worries here in this one. Yes. All right. Colorado -2, -130. All right. Avs -0.5 in the first period. Okay. Don't like -500s, but Colorado's for sure motivated after the 5-1 loss versus Nashville. Um, Nick took a shot with the first period -0.5 and full game money line, which is -102. Interesting. Okay. Um, McKinnon 5+ shots -128. Yeah, he's got at least 4 shots on goal in 10 of his last 12, so he has been consistent. Over 1.5 points for McKinnon. All right. His goal is -154. Wow. Wow. I don't know what to say about that. Could be like their last meeting 5-0. Yeah, I prefer like 3-0 or 4-0, but yeah, hey, that works. Um, McKinnon and McKinnon anytime goal, ranching and assist parlay +200 at ESPN, and the under 6.5 is -130. I like both of those. I do. Chicago's in the altitude versus Mac and Company first home game after a road loss with 2 days rest. Kind of scary. Yeah. So I just hope the Blackhawks can play some defense tonight for me. That's all I'm asking. But we'll move on to the final game, and then we'll get to the parlay of the day. Final game: Seattle Kraken, Calgary Flames. The Kraken +110 to +117. Calgary -129 to -130. Sixes right across the board. 5.5s. Pinnacle. If you're interested in the total. Looking at goaltenders here, Jacob Markstrom confirmed for Calgary. Nobody yet confirmed for Seattle. I'll do a refresh just to make sure. Yeah, nobody confirmed for Seattle yet. How have these teams been playing recently? The Kraken 5-2-1 in their last 8 games, back-to-back games under 3.5. So 2 really low-scoring games for the Kraken. They were playing high-scoring games before that, but the last 2 quiet games. Of course, they did have the over when they faced Edmonton, 2-1 game win for Edmonton. The Flames have won 5 in a row, 3 overs, 1 under, 1 game finished with 6 goals. Calgary 8-1-1 all time against Seattle. Seattle's had some tough luck against divisional opponents. Calgary, Edmonton, and Vancouver have all 3 Canadian teams have had the Kraken's number since Seattle joined the league. 6 of the 10 games went over 6.5. And for me, it's the Flames. Flames money line -129. This Flames team, just kind of the opposite of the Wild, are not giving up. The likeliness of the Flames making the playoffs is not all that likely, but the Flames are trying their hardest. It sounds like Jacob Markstrom will be staying in Calgary. The Flames want to, I guess, reward the players for recent play. Obviously, he could still be moved, but the Flames team just continues to win. So I'll take them here against a divisional opponent they've dominated. And another reason why I do like the Flames is they have players all throughout the lineup that are producing right now. Nazem Kadri on the second line, a goal in 4 of his last 5 games. Blake Coleman on the top line, a goal in 4 of his last 5. Backlund, a point in 4 of his last 5. Mangiapane on the top line, a point in 4 of his last 5. Igor Sharangovich on the third line has a point in 4 of his last 5. Noah Hannafin has an assist in 3 straight games. So the Flames are getting offense up and down the lineup right now. For the Kraken, it's really only the Jared McCann's line. He's got a point 8 of his last 10, at least 3 shots in goal in 5 of his last 6. Vince Dunn, a point in 5 of his last 6 games. If I was going to look at anybody, it would be Vince Dunn for the Kraken here. But the Flames, it's tough to choose because they've got goal scoring throughout the lineup. So not on any props. A single plays at least here, but won't be surprised to see the Flames score some goals here in this one. Flames -133. Going to keep running with Calgary. This team is on fire. Ha ha ha. But it's true. It's true. Upset alert. Kraken. Letdown spot for the Flames after big win the other night. Okay. So PJ disagrees here. All right, we'll see. Flames giving the middle finger to management and not giving up. That's definitely how it looks. That is definitely how it looks. Flames own the Kraken, but I can't bet the Flames. I can never pick the right side. All right, no problem staying off. No problem passing on a game. Fanatics profit boost is Flames and money line -108. I like that. All you have to do is log in 12 to 6 and you get a 25% any sport boost both times. There you go. Or at 12 and at 6. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Flames money line. So for people saying, "Oh, it's a boost," no, it's a profit boost. So you can use that boost on any bet you want. So it's not fade the boost, as some people like to do. But Flames money line. There you go. Money coming in on the Blackhawks and pulling prices down, which is kind of confusing. Ryan Donato, Connor Bedard, and Philip Kurashev to beat the Avalanche. Hey, if the Blackhawks want to win that game 2-1 or something like that, I'll take it. I'll take it. Flames, Flyers, Panthers, Vegas puck line plus 1,131. All right, not too bad. I don't really know how like that Vegas puck line, but hey, they definitely should beat up on the Jackets. We'll just have to see if they can turn things around. But now we're going to the parlay of the day, and lost back-to-back parlay of the days on the weekend. Looking to get back on the winning side here, and as I said earlier on the show, going back to the future here, to back two players here that have been really good on this show. One this year, one in the playoffs last year. Parlay of the day, Sam Reinhart. Our moneymaker is hot again. Scoring some goals, but getting assists as well. Getting on the score sheet. So we'll take Sam Reinhart over half a point. And then on the other side, yes, I'm taking a Vegas player. Jonathan Marchessault over half a point facing the Columbus Blue Jackets offense. Marchessault playing very well right now. Was moneymaker for us in the playoffs last year. I like him tonight. So Sam Reinhart over half a point. Jonathan Marchessault over half a point. Plus 135 for the parlay of the day here tonight. But that is it. That is today's show. I gave out all my NHL plays on today's show. My exclusive play of the day is in the NBA. So that play is on the site, picksandparlays.net. Link is in the description below if you want to get that. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow for another episode. Getting Well Retiring Friends, free NHL picks. Best of luck to everyone on tonight's slate. And we'll see you again. Thanks for watching, guys.